Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Red Donkey Projections. I'm Eric, and we have Lucas as always.
Hey everyone.
Today is May 30th, 2021. And today we're going to be talking about Donald Trump. Specifically, we're going to be talking about who he's going to pick for vice president in the 2024 presidential election year. So we all know that Donald Trump is very likely going to run again. He's still, not somewhat, but fairly popular in most of the Republican Party. But it's pretty obvious that he will not be picking Mike Pence again due to relations and just his general popularity among the Republican Party. So in this video, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump's potential vice presidential candidates and their impact on the electoral map.
I think I agree with you. It is pretty likely he'll be running again. We don't know for sure yet, but Donald Trump will definitely still have an impact on the Republican Party, even though he's still no longer the president. And with that being said, let's get right into it. So Mike Pence has not been considered by Trump supporters to be that favorable, and this is because, despite being a complete Trump loyalist throughout his presidency, when he told Donald Trump that he couldn't overturn the results in the 2020 election, I think Donald Trump got very mad at him. He's lambasted him, and then of course we have the infamous January 6th riots that occurred that wrongfully targeted Mike Pence for not overturning election results, even though he really had no power for that anyway. So with that deteriorating relationship, it's clear that Donald Trump will probably not be choosing him. And this is funny because I think Mike Pence does still want to be involved in the Trump administration. He still wants to be involved in politics. We saw him after everything happened, like a few months later. He's still calling out, "Oh, there was voter fraud," even though obviously that's not true. He's falsely claiming that, but he's still doing it. So I'm thinking that he's eyeing maybe a 2024 presidential run again, which is very strange. But anyway, taking a look at potential VP options other than Mike Pence. So this article actually highlighted that he wanted a black or female running mate. Um, I think a couple that come to mind are Tim Scott, if he wants an African American, or perhaps Christine Nome, as it says here, or Kim Reynolds, who is the who is the governor of South Dakota. Oh, sorry, Kim Reynolds is governor of Iowa. I was thinking Christine Nome. And I think those choices will be interesting. We've still got to wait to see like what they could do. But of course, we can't discuss this video without describing Ron DeSantis. So I'm going to pass it over to Eric now to kind of describe who Ron DeSantis is and his popularity within the Trump base.
Ron DeSantis is the current governor of Florida, and he is a Republican who won in the 2018 governor election. It was pretty close against Andrew Gillum. It was around zero point 0.4 or so it was pretty close. And ever since he took office, he's been fairly popular, not only within Florida, but also within the most of the Republican base. So he has eased coronavirus restrictions pretty early, and he's allowed for people to kind of almost return back to normal. And some Floridians very praise him for that, but others around the country also kind of condemn his actions for doing that. So he's kind of controversial, but within the Republican Party, he's a pretty strong candidate. He's very pro-Trump. He also lambasts Democrats whenever he can. So for Donald Trump, he seems like a very favorable candidate, and he would probably do well, in the rest of the country. In the critical areas such as North Carolina or the Rust Belt. He's still a young, passionate person who can really get the Trump base going and really mobilize it.
And the other thing again is name recognition. He has a pretty strong name recognition that could be good for the Republican Party. We did make a video about Ron DeSantis in August where I think we did criticize him for his COVID-19 handling. We discussed maybe this could lead to a poor showing for Donald Trump in Florida. But what ended up happening was, his approval rating bounced back, and obviously Donald Trump did win Florida by a pretty large margin. But again, even though Ron DeSantis would be probably a good running mate for Donald Trump because he's very loyal to him, I do want to reiterate again that in 2024, if Donald Trump is the nominee, he's probably going to lose again, considering how much America really doesn't like his populist rhetoric anymore, and how there's this growing anti-Trump base with Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney. The list goes on and on and on. But if we had to make a prediction for a VP nominee, it would probably be Ron DeSantis at the moment. I think second to that, I don't know, Tim Scott maybe, but I think he is definitely a leading contender, especially considering how loyal he's been to President Trump. And we see this not only with President Trump, within the Republican base too. This is the CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference. Every year they do their annual straw poll to see who would become, most likely to become president. Obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but in 2021, Donald Trump obviously took first by quite a bit because of his popularity within the Republican Party. But Ron DeSantis came in actually a decent second because a lot of Republicans do see him as, the second Trump. And if he ends up being his running mate, I think that would be actually pretty fitting because of how much of a Trump loyalist he is. He would absolutely, if he were to run for president, let's say Donald Trump doesn't run for president, Ron DeSantis would definitely do 100% very well in the primary because of his loyalty. But again, this would not fare really that well in a general election. Let's actually take a look at the 2016 VP selection first, see what Donald Trump was looking for in this case. I actually do think he was looking a lot less for loyalty than he is now. Last time, he was more looking for strategic things. Chris Christie obviously was a very strong Trump loyalist, or at least before in 2016. Obviously, he no longer is, and there's zero shot he's going to be the VP pick because he rightfully spoke out against the election lies. He had issues with Bridgegate, and I had a lot of scandals behind him while being New Jersey governor, and obviously decided to pass up on him. Instead, he chose Governor Pence, and Mike Pence was someone who actually didn't support Donald Trump in the primary. He actually supported Ted Cruz from Texas in the primary, which was very interesting because I guess Donald Trump turned around and still selected him at the end of the day. So in this case, it is probably going to be very different. He is going to be looking a lot more towards loyalty. So these are the 2024 election polls, and I'll let Eric kind of describe the general pattern we've seen actually from the Republican Party polls without Trump and kind of showing how interesting this is.
Right, so let's take a look at what we see. So for the Republican primary, Donald Trump is actually not listed in here, as we've explained, and we've already talked about this person, but Ron DeSantis is the favorable candidate out of a lot of notable Republican names, such as Ted Cruz, Nikki Haley, Josh Hawley, Mike Pompeo, and Mitt Romney, although Mitt Romney probably does not have too much of a chance, because of the very pro-Trump people, they really do not like Mitt Romney because they don't see him as someone who supports him enough. And then we see other people, but I guess they just don't have the enough name recognition as compared to Ron DeSantis. He's the most popular out of these people, and even Tucker Carlson, who is a Fox News host, he's on this list, but even he does not do as well as Ron DeSantis. So this shows how, not looking at the quantitative numbers, but this kind of shows how he seems to kind of be like a rising star, and we'll see what he does in the remaining years. We'll see if he does anything contradictory or unpopular and see how that may hinder his chances of becoming the nominee. But I think the very close race in Republican primaries will be Ron DeSantis against Donald Trump if he does run, which is pretty likely as of now.
Right, and I do think that this does 100% confirm Ron DeSantis' popularity within the Republican Party, which is something that Donald Trump is probably going to be looking for. He's looking for someone that's not only loyal to him, but it would be good for him on a ticket. And the other key thing is the fact that he's from Florida, a major battleground state. Even though it has been trending a lot to the right now, especially due to Miami-Dade, the Hispanics swinging towards Trump in the 2020 election. This could be very beneficial to kind of keeping Florida as this red state. Potential other areas, I think we still have to wait and see for some more data about that. But in general, Donald Trump picking Ron DeSantis does seem to be very, very likely right now. Again, the other options, Kristi Noem, Tim Scott, maybe even Tom Cotton, they don't seem that likely right now. So far, Ron DeSantis is absolutely the favorite to be his VP. And with that being said, that is the end of the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this episode, please like one. If you like our content, please subscribe. And we'll see you in our next episode tomorrow.
See ya.